Papá, ¿le puedes hablar a Isaí? Hello, everybody. We're live. We have Ana Cabrales here with Cabrales Mortgage. How are you? Happy Monday. How is your Monday? So Ana Cabrales right now, we're going to give it a few minutes. We're having technical difficulties, so we have Anita and speaker right now. So, Ana.
You can hear me.
She has a new computer, which is a good thing. And you know what happens with technology. Sometimes technology works and sometimes it doesn't. It's awesome when it works. But today is one of those days, and it's Monday, where Anna is trying to use her new computer. And guess what? The audio is not working. So we have Ana Cabrales on speaker. So we're going to have technical difficulties today, and we're going to make it happen. We're not going to quit. Okay, so we're here. So ask us if you have any questions. Today, the topic for today is going to be still how to buy a home when you are self-employed. You can, yes, it is possible. We just had a situation with a buyer. Actually, it's not my buyer. I'm the listing agent, okay? And our buyer, the one buying the house from my client, she's self-employed. So let me see. Anna is trying to get in. Let me see if I can add her. Anna, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
You got it. You got it. Awesome.
Let me hang up on the phone.
Okay, let's hang up. Okay, yeah, Anna's not here anymore. Now he's here. Thank you for being so patient, everybody.
Yes.
So
I have my drink.
Awesome. What are we drinking today?
It's matcha green tea.
Oh, that's good. I need to try it. Is it good? It's good. Well, today I'm having sparkling water, Perrier. Okay. I couldn't find anything else.
The body.
I know. I was in a hurry. Instead of being energetic, this is what I found. So, hello, my friends. I hope you had a wonderful weekend and you're getting ready for holidays.
Yay.
Right? Holidays are coming. So, the topic for today is for all our buyers who are self-employed, that maybe you are entrepreneurs and you would like to buy a home. So my name is Sosa-Heredia with Momentum Realty. I'm the broker. And Ana is Ana Cabrales with Cabrales Mortgage. And we are in After Hours Real Estate Question and Answer. If you have any questions related to real estate or lending, this is the time. Okay? Anita, tell us what's going on, Anita, in the lending world.
It's been a good week. We had some applications. We had customers interested in purchasing a house, people that are wanting to get into a home before the holidays, before Christmas, before New Year's. So it's been a good week. Last week was a good week also. We got clear to close on the loan that we were just talking about. The lady.
Yay! Yes. Now, for all of you to understand this, clear to close means that we are ready to close. That means that all conditions of the loan have been met and we just have to wait, I don't know, maybe a day or two to correlate with title in order to close. But I mean, it is a done deal. That is awesome. Awesome.
Yes.
Thank you so much. She made it happen. So now I'm going to tell you a little bit about this buyer, like I was mentioning before, self-employed buyer trying to buy a property, and then we run into a little bit of a hiccup. So what happened, Anna? I mean, in your experience, what do you think was happening with that file?
So what I understand is that the other lender had the file and the customer wanted to work with 1 year tax return because in a prior year, she reported less income. So she wanted to qualify only with 2020 income from the tax returns. So the customer went to the other lender and wanted to apply, but the other lender required for the IRS to have her transcripts processed already by the IRS. And the lady turned in a tax return. She did it manually, like by hand. She didn't do it electronically. And the tax return was stamped by the IRS. So the IRS stamped it saying that they received it. The stamp does not say that it's processed. It just says that it's received by the IRS in person. So we were able to show that tax return to the underwriter. We also got a letter from her CPA, her accountant, saying that that he prepared that tax return, that the lady has in fact been in business over 5 years. And because she's been in business over 5 years, then we're allowed to use one tax return instead of two. So we were
Okay,
able to submit that file to underwriting and get an approval. So we got clear to close on this lady. So that
that
was
is awesome.
that is
Thank
awesome
you.
news. Yes,
Yes,
yes.
that is awesome. So then let me tell you a little bit of what happened with this file. So this file was under contract. We had another lender. All of a sudden, the lender, I mean, about to close. You're talking about, we have already done all, I mean, it had passed appraisal. So usually when it passes appraisal, I mean, for everybody, usually we call our seller and we let them know, it's time to do inspections because we're about to close. It passed appraisal. So we close in within a week, maybe 5 to 7 days. So, but in this case, we were dealing with a lender who had a specific, I guess, rules or procedures. And in this case, the buyer was gonna be probably taking what, maybe 5 to 6 weeks. I don't know. It was
It's
gonna be taking
because
a long process.
if you Google like how long does IRS take to process a tax return, right now it says anywhere from 8 to 10 weeks, six to
Okay.
10 weeks. And so
Okay.
that was the issue. The lady has today is week 6, or last Thursday was week 6. So it could be any day now that the IRS processes. We just don't know. It may be this week, it may be next, it could be the next month, basically.
I see. So then if we're under contract, right, what are the disadvantage if all of a sudden your buyer, right, is not able to fulfill his part of the contract? So usually that buyer will lose its earnest money. The earnest money is escrow. We also call it escrow. It's basically 1% of the value of the home. So in this case, you're talking about close to 3,000, maybe $2,500 plus $100 option money. Now, what is option money? Option money is you give $10 per day for 10 days to inspect the property and have the right to walk away during day number 10 or in any other given moment because the property is not in a ready to move in condition. Let's say there's something that you don't feel comfortable with. Usually it's major things. I mean, the roof, electrical, plumbing, AC, or foundation, which we don't see it that often, but it may happen. So in
But
this
can you
case,
also just walk away because you get cold feet during the option period, or no?
unfortunately, yes. I mean, it is true because it's not specific only to the condition of the home. Basically, it's an outing, right? An outing that the Texas Real Estate Commission lawyers, right? Usually, the contracts that we sign here in Texas, they are always towards the buyer, protection of the buyer. It's not really protecting the seller. So there's several clauses there, which is the third party financing addendum, the days, right? So we protect the earnest money. Then we have the termination option money, which if the house is not in good condition, he can walk away. He can just let us know, you know what? We usually try to tell them, to be serious. I mean, let's not be doing this constantly to sellers because it's not fair. So make sure that you're serious and you really like this home. But obviously, if there's an issue with a roof or an AC, you can always, and you don't feel comfortable, even though they fix it for you, they're always going to try to come to a mediation or to a negotiation. The norm is for the seller to say, I will fix it for you, right? We'll give you an invoice and you'll know that it was fixed. Sometimes, I mean, if sellers are not here, sometimes sellers will say, I will give you a credit. So they will also receive a credit, but you need to be aware that with that credit, you're going to have to fix it yourself. And usually that credit, sometimes it gets absorbed into closing costs. So then that is something that you can decide what it is that you want to do. But going back into the topic, so she was about to lose her earnest money, which is the escrow amount of money. It was $2,000 plus the 100 of the option. So what we did or we tried to do, I mean, we kind of like, kind of like the meat of the minds, right? We tried to talk to experts. So let's say we call Anna, we call other lenders because all lenders have different rules. So we need to find out. We're here to provide solutions. That's our role here, right? To mediate and protect you. So we need to have resources in order to give you what you want. So in this case, we called several lenders because the other realtor was representing the buyer. So she was also finding, solutions. And I was representing the seller. So I'm also protecting the seller because we need to make this happen, right? We need to make this happen. So thank God, I mean, with Cabrales Mortgage, I mean, she was able to remove some of the rules. Some of those rules was, let me tell you what it was important for us, right? One was for the new lender to accept the appraisal. Not all of the lenders, as a matter of fact, we talked to other lenders, and according to their company, they have to redo the appraisal. So that
This is
was,
conventional. This is conventional.
it is a conventional loan. So if it is a conventional loan, you can accept, right? You can accept the appraisal.
But you're not required.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Okay.
So
So
a
then,
lot of this is the I've worked in 3 companies. This is the first one that accepts transfers on conventional appraisals.
okay.
Most companies don't. FHA, of course, if you have a buyer and the buyer switches mortgage companies, the old mortgage company needs to send the appraiser to the new one within 5 days. But on conventional, is not required. So the good thing is that the buyer talked to the lender that she had originally and said, I really need this appraisal transfer to Anna. And the good thing is that the lender said, fine, I'll send it. And that also speeded up the process because
Now
we didn't have to order
let me
another
ask.
one. Wait.
Of course, and it will make waste a lot of time. And obviously, seller is not going to extend the contract because he's already losing money as it is.
Mhm.
So let me ask you a question. Is it normally up to the other lender to release that appraisal? I mean, is it like, I mean, is there a rule or you can release it, or it's up to your company to decide to give
On
permission to this?
So on FHA and VA, you have to release it if the borrower paid. If the
Mm.
borrower did not pay, then you don't have to. Hola, Juan.
Hola, Juan. Thank you for watching. How are you? Let us know you have any questions about lending, real estate.
Thank you
Okay,
for
thank you so
watching.
much.
So if it's an FHA or VA, the lender does have to release it to the new lender. They usually need a letter from the buyer saying, please release my appraisal to this new company, and the buyer has to pay it, and then they'll release it within 5 days for FHA and VA. But on conventional, it's not required. But in this case, the buyer had paid for it. It was already done. Um, if the lender refused to send it, they're just being mean at this point because basically the buyer bought it. They pay for it. It
Yeah, that's
it's
what I thought.
it's a
That's what
buyer's, yeah. So the good thing is that the buyer was in communication with the lender. The lender felt bad because they weren't able to do the loan, so they were helping also the buyer. So they did transfer the appraisal to us in time, and we were able to get it certified and be able to use it. So
okay.
that
And
helped us. Yeah.
yeah, and thanks to that, we were able to save the case because of the rules. Like I said, I mean, the lady didn't have time or money to pay an extra around $450 on a new appraisal. And in reality, we cannot guarantee that the seller was going to extend the contract, right, for a week or two. And she could potentially lose her escrow money.
Mhm.
So then we have to use negotiation strategies that will work for both of them. So basically, what we did is try to come to a consensus with the seller and tell them she did her best, right? It's not her fault. You cannot punish her. That was my part, right? I mean, trying to convince them to continue waiting. I mean, or giving her the 2 week extension that it was needed.
Mhm.
But this is the first thing he said, and he's in his right, and I understand also his point. He tells me, Iris, but I'm spending this money during this time, right? I'm paying mortgage, I'm paying taxes, I'm paying services. Who's gonna give me the money back? Which he's in his right to ask for extra escrow. Now, does that happen? Yes. Usually we tell them we'll give you extra 2 weeks, but we're gonna ask you for, I don't know, $300. In this case, he was asking for 2,000, if I'm not mistaken. He wanted like $1,000 to $2,000 to extend for 2 weeks. We were able to talk to him and tell him that that would have been like a punishment to the buyer, and buyer was not in fault to do this. I mean, unfortunately, um, the lender that she was with, I mean, he thought that he could make it happen. I'm pretty sure he was acting in good faith, but sometimes, things don't pan out, and really the one losing money, well, we all lose, but the one losing the escrow money is the buyer. okay, because she wasn't ready. She's breaching a contract legally. She's not ready to close on this date because something happened with lending. And of course, you're going to ask me, there's always a protection on lending. Yes, it is. But we were so far along in the process because we had already passed appraisal. Usually we allocate 25 to 30 days. They had already passed. So
Mhm.
that means that if seller is not in agreement to extend the contract, then she will have to release the $2,100 back to seller, and she
Yeah.
will have nothing. And that's not the only thing that a buyer will lose. Remember, buyers also pay for survey, appraisal, inspections, general inspection, pest inspection. So we have to be really careful, right? I mean, with the situation, and try to locate and find who's going to give you the solution. So the other, well, that was appraisal. That was one of the things that the other lenders were not able to accommodate. The other one was the transcript from IRS. Can you
Mhm.
tell us about that, Anna? Because I don't remember. It was a seal.
So
It was
yes. So
Mhm.
when you are self-employed, we're gonna verify your tax return. This is not apply if you're W-2, but if you're self-employed, we're gonna verify your tax returns. So you're gonna give me a copy of the tax returns that you filed to the IRS. And besides you giving me the copy, I also verify that that tax return is the tax return that the IRS has in their system. So it needs to match. Once
Mm,
in a while, we'll get one that does not match, but they have to match. So I have to corroborate what you gave us. So in this case, if we log into the IRS website and try to retrieve the tax return for this customer, it's gonna say no record found. Why?
mm,
Because they're still in process. She filed an extension. She did not file January through April. She got an extension to file her tax return. So she barely did them in October. I think the deadline is October 15. So she barely filed her tax return. So when we pull them, it says no record found. Why? It's not that they're not there. It's just that the IRS has not gone through them. They have not processed them. So
mm,
then other lenders are not able to move forward because it still says no record found.
mm. And they're not willing to accept the seal, correct?
Well, yeah. So there's two seals that a tax return can have. One seal says um, you delivered to the IRS. It says like delivery acceptance, and the other one says processed by the IRS. And that's the thing that the seal in this case say delivered. So it doesn't mean that the IRS has gone through them. It just says that the IRS has gotten them, but it's just sitting in the pile to be reviewed. So that was another exemption. We were able to move forward with the stamp tax return saying that they were delivered to the IRS and a CPA letter saying that those are the tax returns that he prepared. So he's basically vouching that those are the actual transcripts, and we were able to get a clear to close. So the risk there for us as a lender is, what if she gave me a tax return that says she made 200,000, let's say, but what if the IRS is still processing? What if when the IRS processes is no longer 200? What if it says 45,000? Then something happened.
Okay.
So
Mm.
that's the risk. But with the seal of delivery and the CPA letter saying that he himself prepared them and that's the profit, we were able to get a clear close.
So, well, we got wonderful. It's Monday, right? So
So
that's
if you are self-employed, do your tax returns with time. File them. I would say wait a month to 2 months, because in that time you know that the IRS has processed them. How do you know if the IRS has processed them? If you just Google get my W-2 transcripts, it'll take you to irs.gov. You create an account, your name, your password, and then you can get your transcript there. If when you open them, it says no record found, it means that they have not processed them.
Mm.
If you click on it and it gives you your tax return, then you know you're processed.
A ver, Ana, did you say get my what?
The W-2 transcripts
Get my, I'm putting it in the chat, my W2.
transcript, you put that in Google and it'll take you to irs.gov, and then you'll say like get my transcript. You have two ways to get your transcript. It says get by mail or get online. You want to get them online right there that second. So if you have never logged into that account, you're going to create an account. It's going to ask you out of these 4 addresses, where have you lived? It's going to tell you out of these vehicles, which one have you owned? Out of these credit cards, which one's yours? So it's going to verify that that's you. Like I cannot try to go and create an account for Iris because it's going to ask me which bank you have or what are the last 4 digits of your credit card. I'm not going to know that information for Iris, so I cannot create that account. So you have to be the person that's creating it. And then you can go to get your W-2s, get your tax transcripts, your record of account. So it's going to give you options, and you can actually see if the IRS already processed your tax return. If you ever lose your tax returns, if you ever lose your W-2s, you can go to that website and retrieve them from there.
Okay, that is wonderful information. For all of my friends right now that are planning to buy a home, but you are self-employed, okay? The first tip to do is go to get my W2 transcripts. Then it's going to send you to the page irs.gov. Okay, so fill out the information, the questions they ask you, and they're going to let you know if they have them, correct?
Yes.
If they're ready.
Yes.
And the other thing that you said, Anna, for our buyers who are self-employed, you said file your taxes at least 2 months in advance.
2 months before you apply for the mortgage. That way, when we go and check it, it's already there. So then there's no issues like this where now we have to wait for the IRS to process it or go through other hoops or get exemptions or get approvals or get more letters. Give yourself time, that way you're not stressing, because if not, it's just very stressful. And like you said, they could lose their earnest money because they're not ready. So get prepared with time.
Okay, so do your taxes 2 months before applying for a mortgage. So be prepared. That way you don't lose money. That way you can have everything that you need, and we cannot be, that way the process will be smooth, right? Yes. And it won't be so stressful as you losing money or about to lose the house that you really like.
Because so for example, right now I'm doing another loan. Another lady applied and she wants to buy a house and she's self-employed. She has a spa. So she sent me the tax returns. Besides me checking the income, I checked the date that she signed the tax return. And I saw that is very recent. This one is like 3 weeks. So I already know. I already told her, you know what? Go to the IRS website, try to download your transcript. I'm like, once it's processed, then I can start the loan. Because I already know. I saw the date when she signed it. So I know she just barely did it. So it's not going to be processed by the IRS. It's not going to
be processed. Oh, yeah. My goodness. Okay, so then we're going to have to go today. I have my son's basketball game right now, and I need to make it. I need to be there. And Anna has a client that she's going to be meeting right now. So we want to just go back and give you a little summary. So yes, you may buy a home as self-employed. And the key here, the tip is be prepared, right? Be prepared. File your taxes at least a month or 2 in advance.
Correct.
Before you apply for a mortgage. And the way to do it is get my W2 transcript. You put it in Google. Then it's going to send you to irs.gov. Fill out the questionnaire or answer the questions, and you'll know if it is already processed. So that's when you can begin looking for the house.
Yeah. Any questions, text me or call me. I can walk you through that website. I can tell you how to download them. Once you download it, I can tell you how to read it. So we can go through that if you have any questions.
Yes, we're here to answer any questions that you might have. And this was just a case that it just happened to us, but we have awesome news. Today, Anna let us know that we have cleared to close, which is great. We're about to close. So let us know if you have any questions before. If you want to buy a home before the year is over, you can still do it. We still have time. And there's a lot of movement. Today, we just got 2 new listings. So what I'm saying is there's a lot of properties coming into the market. So you still have time. Give us a call. And thank you so much for watching After Hours Real Estate. And we're here to help you. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.